Hey guys, welcome back to another Helix video. Today we're going to be looking at the Archetype lead, which is the lead channel of the PRS Archon amp that they've most recently modeled with the 2.10 firmware. This is actually kind of the same patch I used for the clean version, so there's a lot of kind of leftover components that you're not going to need on this one. There's about 4 drive pedals in there that you certainly won't need with this. So if you like the tone, download the patch, take out what you don't need, do what you want with it. I just kind of threw this amp model in, wanted to get an idea for what it sounded like and do a quick video about it. As you can see, as with the clean channel, the EQ is set flat, presence is down just a little bit, master's barely bumped up. It pretty much, straight across the board flat. And I've been doing this with the new amp models. I just wanted to kind of show off the true sound without tons of tweaking and getting things just to say, hey, look, you can pull this amp model up and it's ready to rock just right out of the gate. It's good to go. I did change the cabinets up from what I was using on the other patch, which just makes sense if you're going for this kind of tone. Using the Cali 430 vintage 30s with 160 ribbon. At the moment, no high cut or low cut. Same thing here, Uber V30. Again, a vintage 30 cabinet, ribbon 121. I did find I needed to boost this cabinet just slightly to keep up with this one, to keep the volume balance between the two. But other than that, you can see I'm not doing any high or low cuts. That's pretty much it. Dialed the reverb back just a little bit, left just a little bit on, but not much. I know typically, you're going to want a tighter sound for the high gain stuff. Basically, I wouldn't describe myself as a high gain player. So, I'm going to play a handful of riffs I can remember in drop D and, see how that goes. I'm going to play these more or less from memory. So, forgive me if I miss a note here or there, don't play something exactly right. Guitar-wise, I'm using a Variax with the Les Paul bridge. I'm using the Variax tuning to do the drop D. So everything's Variax coming out of here. You can plug your own guitar in and get pretty much the same results. But anyway, so enough chit-chat. Let me play some audio examples and let you see what you think. I am going to start out on a riff actually that's not quite, it'll get a little more high gain as I go. So I'm going to have the volume knob backed off just a little bit as I start and then roll it up as I get into the riff, and you'll be able to hear what I'm talking about. So. So, for that kind of tone, man, I think this amp is awesome. I don't really play a lot of this style, but to my ears anyway, and like I said, I'm not like a heavy tone or kind of a metal expert, but to my ears, it sounds really, really good for this style of music. Somebody else asked me, or I don't know if they asked me, but I heard someone talking about this amp model. Did it have to be just kind of a modern high gain, or could it do kind of bluesy? So I'm just going to experiment for a second. I'm going to roll the volume back on the guitar a little bit and see if it cleans up enough to kind of get away with a little more of a bluesy feel to it. just to see how that sounds. So we'll give that a try. Not too bad. You know, you can kind of get away with it. I'm going to flip over to a more of a Stratty type sound just to see how that works with again with the volume rolled back to see if we can get even more bluesy out of it. So let's see how that pans out. Yeah, it could work. This wouldn't be my go-to amp for blues, but you know, you definitely cleans up pretty nicely, I guess. To my ears, when I roll the volume back and play, I kind of hear characteristics from the clean channel, and what I mean by that is the clean channel is like super clean, doesn't give, and even though this is distorted, I'm getting that same kind of it doesn't give kind of feel when I play it. I don't know if that's going to come across in the audio, but that's what it feels like when I'm playing. Whereas typically a blues style amp, you know, when you really dig in, I don't know, there's this kind of push pull give take kind of feel with it that I don't really get with this one. But for what it is, I mean, it sounds really great. If you wanted, let me get my settings back here to the heavy. You know, if you wanted to really juice it up, I'm gonna kick on the super overdrive just to let you hear what it sounds like. I don't think you really need any more gain than what's on tap, but if you did, I'll hit a couple chords with this. So, man, if that's not enough gain for you, I don't know what is. That is just gobs and gobs of gain. Much more than I'm used to playing with anyway. So, there you go. There's something fun for you guys to play with. If you want a starting point with this amp model, maybe that'll give you something to go off of. Like I said, a lot of the stuff, you know, I've left in all these drive blocks. You can take those out. And I might take those out actually before I export the patch and upload it to Custom Tone. But basically just wanted to kind of see what the amp itself sounded like. In my mind, you're going to use this for, you know, some heavy riffage. So you don't really, you know, I don't think you really need a lot of extra bells and whistles. You just need a good, solid, brutal sounding amp, and this thing delivers. So anyway, hope this is useful and meaningful to you guys, and hope you can get some use out of it, or at least let you know what ballpark this amp lands in. So anyway, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.